Hi, I'm Karolina. I'm from Poland and I'm 28 years old. My father was a professional windsurfer and there is a lake that he used to practice his sport, and when I was a kid we start with sailing. I was sailing in a little boat called Optimist, and so I actually spent a lot of time at the water learning about the winds, about shifting conditions and being by yourself in the middle of the water. Then as I grew older I learned windsurfing, and then kiteboarding was like a new thing because I started kiteboarding almost 15 years ago, so that was pretty new and it started to be more accessible, and once I started it was just so much more fun. One of the best things about kiteboarding is that I can do all these different disciplines, so when I'm like tired from season practicing freestyle the whole year, I can still go wave riding, and if they're amazing waves I can go wave riding. If it's amazing flat water spot I'm just gonna do freestyle, and instead of like just waiting for the conditions to be perfect for that one particular discipline, I just try to shift, and I've always been trying to do that. So when the wind's like lighter, you cannot practice jumps, you cannot practice the freestyle maneuvers, but you can go hydrofoiling. So I always found it like so amazing that you can transition between all these different sports and then you spend more time on the water. If you want to get good at one discipline, you've got to spend most of the time riding that discipline, traveling to the location that the conditions are perfect for the discipline. Each of the disciplines is really hard in itself, so be like really good in one discipline you really need to dedicate. Like I've dedicated myself to be really good at freestyle, and I can say I'm really good at freestyle. I won 3 world championships, but I'm not a world champion in other disciplines like waves or hydrofoil. My opinion about riding boots as a professional rider and a very experienced rider, because I've been kiting for more than 15 years and I've been doing freestyle for that long, is that I started in Footstraps and I've learned most of my tricks in Footstraps, because when you crash your board flies away and you don't get that full impact hitting the water, which is much more enjoyable and much more encouraging to do bigger progress. And it just takes few gnarly crashes to get really injured. So I learned all the basic tricks, first handle passes, first air swaps in Footstraps, and then once I knew the tricks, so once I knew the rotations and the technique, I transferred that skill to riding boots, which was 7 years after I learned kiteboarding. And I took my tricks to the next level. So first I learned them in Footstraps, then I put boots, made them tricks looks better, tricks looks bigger. Everyone wants to push, but if you like just stay on the beginner's level a little bit longer and learn basics better, then you're way more you have much more variety in your riding, because you know all the basics and then you go to advanced. Versus a lot of the time people now, I feel they just learn how to kite, put their boots on, never learn basics, try like really difficult handle passes the whole summer, and then the season's over and they cannot do any, like they haven't learned anything, because learning handle pass is really hard and they didn't spend time practicing their basics. So I also apply this to unhooked and hooked in riding. I feel like a lot of riders, young riders, they want to progress super fast and they just go unhooked, practice these hard handle passes, never get them, because you really need to have a really good fitness to actually do these tricks, and by the end of the season their trick range is really small, versus the riders who've been just playing hooked in tricks and just playing end up the season with having so many more tricks like grabs, different rotations, you know, maybe it's hooked in, which is not something that doesn't give you these amazing points in the world tour, but if you're just doing it for pleasure, I mean, you need to have fun, and if you don't progress, your fun is going down and the frustration's increasing. So for a professional rider, it's always about the new trick, about like something you haven't done before. That's always like, this is my favorite trick because I haven't done it before, and then you do it, you're like, yeah, this is my favorite trick, and then you just go on, and then there's another trick and another trick. I don't have like one thing. There'll be tricks that I like doing more than the others. I really like doing the upside down tricks, which is really hard to do off the flat water, to just go fully upside down, and it's much easier to do it off the kicker waves and in the kite park, and it's just an amazing feeling when you can go upside down. So I love all the tricks that you just go woo. It's an amazing feeling.